Greetings and salutations, you little corn sniffers. It is Lower Bitrate, the podcast, number 36.
I have no idea what that means, but yes, welcome to number 36.
Hello. Plug time. Check all our shit. Follow the Twitter.
Yeah.
Subscribe to the OnlyFans. We have an Instagram and on there. Get on it. Subscribe to the YouTube so we can have a custom URL. Do it. Thank you. Discord, we do movie night there. Pump those numbers up. And then Spotify, Google Play Music, and Apple Podcasts. Save that shit to your device on Apple. I'll love you a long time.
Yeah, thanks for listening to the plugs. I'd like to do the bonus plug and remind everybody to please register to vote if you're a American. Let's rock the vote. And that's something a boomer would say, but you get it. But yeah, thanks for listening.
When's the last time somebody said that? 2000?
Yeah, probably
2004?
like P. Diddy. Yeah, 2004.
Jeez.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm really, I'm old. But yeah, thanks for listening. And please subscribe and like us everywhere because we have egos too.
Yep.
Just join us for those movie nights too. We're having a really good time. So that happens Monday in the Discord. So check our Twitter. We put all the links and info there.
Yeah. We should be getting a new stimulus thing. I have a quick tip for you.
Mm-hmm.
They post the link of the vote of who voted no. Just keep in mind those people that do that. Put that in the back of your head. And if they're from your state, if they're up for re-election, you know what to do. Before we get into the weeks, there was a pretty controversial statement from a prolific figure.
Okay.
And I have a soundbite from it. It's very, this is like some 200 IQ shit coming from this person. I've never heard something like this in my life. It's about gaming. Verbatim. This is exactly what he said. Are you ready?
Ready.
DMT was DMT. The DMT.
Oh, smoking.
DMT. Dimethyltryptamine is DMT. The DMT is the chemical, particularly dimethyltryptamine. Not only that, your brain produces dimethyltryptamine.
Joe Rogan, you're a fucking clown. Sit your bald ass down. You have nothing of value to say. You have nothing. You know nothing. You're a boomer. Moving on now.
How can you be like so enlightened? Like a lot of people, one thing is that I listen to podcasts of like, for example, Pete Holmes or Duncan Trussell. I'm sure there's many others. I'm sorry, I don't have like recommendations besides two white dudes, but trust me, they're pretty enlightened and they talk a lot about their experience, how they've become who they are. Like it's really shaped their lives by trying hallucinogens. So there's better podcasts out there that are like, I'm like, how can you do hallucinogens and come out dumber somehow? So yeah, just try something else if you're interested in those enlightenment. Deep thought.
I get what he was saying on like a simple level. Basically, what he was saying is like, you're basically wasting your time when you're playing video games. They're very addictive. Yes, they can be. But saying that they're a waste of your life, there's so many avenues that you can go through. Yes. Will you be a streamer making $1 million plus a year? Probably not. But there's reporting, writing, game development, community management. You could even make a decent living being a mid-tier or a low-tier streamer. You have no idea what
it's a lot of work. Yeah, but yeah, I understand what he was saying. Taken out of context, it sounds even worse. But the way I like to speak, I have a microphone. I'm not comparing myself to Joe Rogan in any way, but just when I speak about my experiences, I frame it as my experience. This is my opinion from my personal experiences, because apparently he did get addicted to video games. So what he said wasn't wrong. Like, yes, they are addictive. Just watch out. Like, but God, he sounds so dumb. Just
let's move on. How was your week?
Yeah, my week was busy. No gaming. Well, probably Thursday I was able to game, like, after we recorded, but I played Animal Crossing in days, not a week, but just a few days, which is really weird. Just had to, I honestly moved my setup around. I'm going to post pictures soon, but so that took a lot of my time.
We have
just getting set up in a different room. I'm sorry, go ahead.
We have a lot to talk about for Animal Crossing. They dropped something really big that comes out.
That's right. I know.
Relatively soon?
Yes.
Tomorrow, right?
Yeah. Tomorrow. Yes.
The 30th.
Some of the stuff. I think the fireworks, but the clouds, I don't know.
Yeah, I think that comes out too.
Okay. So this really changes the game. I'm glad that's such a corny thing to say, but it literally changes the game. Because assumedly you can move your island.
Mm-hmm. And if they put the functionality into the back end of the Nintendo Switch Online thing, if possible, you'll be able to take your island, kind of like how I move the saves between Switch Lite and the regular Switch for Pokemon. Mm-hmm. You take it and you have to manually put it to another device. If that's the case, if it's tied to your Nintendo account, that would be big, because that allows you to move your island across devices, which gets rid of, let's say you break your Switch. Do you really want to start over? I don't think so.
Right.
That was a big problem, and their excuse for that, to say, oh, the integrity, motherfucker, it's Animal Crossing. What competitive integrity are you saying? Even in the current system, people still hacked in items from the game, like star fragments and all kinds of other crazy shit that people weren't supposed to have.
Right.
So throw it out the window. Just let us transfer our fucking islands, please. Because I'd play this game much more if I could play it on the Switch Lite, because it's way lighter than the regular Switch, and I won't smack myself in the face.
That's one of the things they should have been clear about. I know they love to be ambiguous, and kind of quiet about game mechanics, let you figure it out. But I think that should have been really clear, because that affects gameplay so much, and it affects people's decisions. Should I buy one? Should I buy two? And which should I buy it for if I'm only buying one? Something I hope they change is having someone else on your island. It's so annoying, to try to help them and give them shit. It's a pain in the ass. You have to take turns being the leader. I'm sure you're familiar with this with your.
That's really convoluted, stupid. And
yeah,
it's tied
not
to the
good
G
co-op.
sensor, the gyro sensor in the controller. So every time you switch it or shake it by accident or whatever, you get a spider on you or something. You fucking move and jerk. It's do you want to switch leader? No.
Yeah. So what we mean by that is only one player can be in charge at a time and affect the island, which is so stupid. And it's also difficult to give each other stuff. But there's certain things unless you're the leader, you can't do. It's really annoying.
Yeah, but what if somebody came in and was like, "Oh yeah, I want your I don't know, your turnip price or whatever," and then decided to fuck your shit up. You know what I mean?
It's just so limited. It can be so much better.
I think the system that I was thinking of is you could tag people as trusted.
Yeah.
To be able to pull things out or whatever, but whatever. It's Animal Crossing. I'm not pressed about it. It's a kid's game. Ultimately.
True. I'm pressed. Just wanted everyone to know that.
My week was interesting.
Yeah.
So, okay. On Wednesday, we had a big thunderstorm here, and it was real bad. I'm talking, you could look it up online.
I read about it. Yeah.
It was really, really bad. So I put the dog in the bed, just so that he can like snuggle up. I fell asleep. And the next day I was supposed to get into some adult extracurricular activities. And I go outside.
Worst way to say it. Go ahead.
I go outside and my car is not where I parked it.
Mm-hmm.
The one I just spent $20,000+ on, by the way. And I'm like, previously I put a steering wheel lock on my car because they were stealing airbags.
Yeah, you sent me a picture of it. Yeah.
And I was like, damn, bro, y'all wanted the airbags that bad? You took the fucking car to get it off? Shit, I'm impressed. You can have it. You know what I mean? I called the police. And apparently, someone decided at 10:30 or so, right after the thunderstorms, to absolutely smash my fucking car to the point where it was wedged inside of somebody else's car. And I was parked 2 feet away from this person, so my shit went fucking skidding into their car and made a dent, and they can't open their door.
Like, where were you going in such a hurry?
Yeah, so I didn't see the car for 6 days. I went to go see it today, and apparently it's gonna get fixed. But it's just a frustrating process to go through. I think I must have spent like 12 hours on the phone.
I didn't believe you when you told me what happened. I was like, yeah,
I still didn't believe it either. I was like, okay, because my brother was coming. He had never seen my car because I just drove it home and he just didn't see it. So he saw the lady that was next to her car was hit, and it didn't register in my brain. Like, I was like, it couldn't be me, right? Like, it can't be me. I know I'm the king of bad luck, but like, that's just too bad, you know? And then, lo and behold, true. Yeah, no video games for the most part. I completely checked out of Path of Exile. I was like, dude, my brain is shot. I do not want to craft items. The last thing I did on that game was craft a perfect helmet, which is kind of cool, but also kind of not cool because the league mechanic makes it really fucking easy, so you can get like perfect mirror tier items. Which is a net positive for the game because it's going to teach all the little shitters how to craft things.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't know this had crafting.
Yeah, it previously was like big brain crafting or whatever. Most of it is tied to luck though, but this is like target farming or whatever. It's like, to me personally, it's one of those things where it introduces a lot of power creep. You know what power creep is, right?
No.
Power creep is when new things come into the game that are obviously stronger than what was in the game previously. There's no reason to use the previous shit before ever. Because the new thing is so much better. And
hate that.
It invalidates whatever they had in their game. This invalidates everything crafting wise.
It's a big fuck you to veteran players too, like.
Well, I mean, yes and no, kind of. Path of Exile is not a traditional game. It revolves on an economy that rotates every 3 months or so. So yeah, there are some items that are better, but things get rotated out. Like, I have a lot of things on standard, which is like kind of like everything gets bunched into one, where it's like considered legacy, where you can't roll that anymore. So no, I don't think they fucked over their standard players, but yeah, it's nuts. So yeah, not that many video games. I did finish a couple of shows. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, it's all been TV for me. Just haven't had the energy to pick up my Switch. Just been
Yeah, I
real
booted it
busy.
up and downloaded like, I don't know, 20 gigabytes of updates. I haven't updated anything yet.
I thought for sure I had an update, but yeah, just real life gets in the way sometimes. So I'm happy that I will be gaming. I'm planning tomorrow or even later today to start the Mario Origami King because I haven't played any of it. I've had it for a long time now. So
It's been almost 2 weeks, right?
yeah, time to dive in. Just I'd like to stream it. I just want to take a quick crack at the game and then
Yeah, you have to get
hopefully
that
stream it.
vibe, right? Like some things are streamable and some things aren't.
You got to be in a real mood to go in blind, like, but I'm never going in truly blind. Like I know something about the game or anyway, I like to stream myself having fun. So, but I also stream some failures. So it's like if it doesn't work out.
You always have that mouth breather in chat, like, well, you have to do it this way. Optimum.
I don't mind like having chat help, but yeah, if I get frustrated, then I'm like, look, this is I'm not going to keep banging my head against this wall. Let's just switch modes here.
So you returned to Switch.
Twitch.
The last did I say Switch or Switch?
You said Switch.
All right. I still had spit in my mouth from mocking nerds. How was it? How was your return?
It was really fun. Yeah, thanks for anybody that tuned in. My first stream since April. It's just been health stress, man. So I'm happy to be feeling more like myself. No more surgical procedures for a while. So I feel like I'm on the up and up. So it was really great to get to do something I love, a hobby I love, one of my few hobbies, which is streaming.
Nice.
Sit in my chair, camera on. Was a little bit nervous, felt a little bit awkward because I was like, ugh, staring at my face. Gotta get used to that again. But yeah.
Do you have your voice playing in your head, like back to you in real time?
No.
I don't do that either. That throws me off.
I can't imagine. I have enough voices in my head, thanks. I know people say that like, oh, the voices in my head say fuck you or something. And I'm like, no, like literally there's narrative going all the time. It's like Dexter in my brain.
What else about
Tonight's
Twitch?
the night. Sorry.
Anything else about Twitch?
So I saw a tweet from a friend, and someone I follow on Twitter. But I was surprised, they were asking how to get Twitch popular was the word used. And I just was like, ooh, just an interesting question, made me stop scrolling and think about it. Because I know we had mentioned Co Carnage, his tweet earlier about like same thing. Someone asked him, hey, how do I grow my channel on Twitch? They worded it differently. And Co responded with the typical like set a schedule, be consistent. But something I don't think that helps with visibility on Twitch initially. I think my advice, I wouldn't use the word popular, but would be to join a community. That's when my small little channel has had quote unquote the best success, or honestly, I've had the most fun is pursuing a stream team or a community I'm a member of is Stream Texas. And that's just a local group of streamers. Used to be on different platforms, but it's Twitch now, Twitch streamers, no more Mixer. But join something like that and participate. Every community has a Discord. Participate in the Discord. Watch the streamers that are involved in that community because you'll get to know people in chat. It'll become known that you're a streamer. Like people click on your name. You'll get follows that way. This has been my experience, how to grow on Twitch as a small little channel. And even with the way Twitch has changed, low visibility, do it. Jump into a small streamer community.
I've had 630 followers for the last 5 years, so my opinion means dog shit. I have no idea. Um, what I've noticed though is success comes at random, and you can't really like plan for it.
Mm-hmm.
You could just set yourself up for success, right? So if you know a game is coming out, we have a couple games coming out in the next week that are going to be popular. Look at the schedule and see what came out last week or 2
Yeah.
weeks before, because
Right.
just because Twitch moved on from it as a whole because of the big streamers like herd their audiences to a new game doesn't mean that there's not people interested in wanting to see, or they haven't been sold on the game, right? So that's free real estate, so to speak.
I love doing that. I don't mean to cut you off, but I do not stream releases on release day. Plus, because I used to do that with Destiny because I was so hyped about it, I didn't care. I was going to play it, so I'd stream it anyway. But the game there'd always be problems with releases. So you'd just be sitting there with error screens, like that's not good entertainment. Or again, zero exposure. Everyone is going to be watching the bigger streamers play it. So that was why I feel like Co missed the mark is you can do whatever you want on your channel. And if you stream big releases, you're going to have huge success and you're probably even getting paid to do it. No disrespect. It's just a fact. So I was like, ugh, like you don't have any idea the advice to give to a smaller channel because you've never experienced it. Some
it's
pitfalls.
very different from a bigger streamer.
Mm-hmm. There's different pitfalls that just with experience you learn. But if you join a community, ask lots of questions. Now, I don't mean like dumb questions. I mean genuine questions. Then and don't self-promote yourself. You'll have success. I can't imagine why not.
Don't be a weirdo. You know what I mean? That's it. You just don't be a weirdo. There's a Twitch etiquette that you have to follow. Like, eventually people will realize that you stream.
Yeah, I bet you're really cool because you want to be an entertainer on Twitch and you're into video games. Guess what? The whole community that you join also loves Twitch and also loves video games, which is two incredible passions to have in common with people. So don't be shy, jump in. And even if it doesn't work out, you can move on. There's endless options on Twitch until you find something that, is not toxic and makes you happy to stream. Connect with other small streamers.
Yeah.
Help each other too. That's how you can help each other so
I think
much.
if anybody actually knew how to, get popular, so to speak, or grow your audience, then everybody would be doing it.
Well, my advice.
I remember what I forgot what I was going to say.
Yeah,
Most of the, well, it just escaped me. I had it in my head. But most of the growth that comes on Twitch is not from Twitch. It's from outside platforms like your TikTok, your Instagram, your
Twitter.
YouTube, your Twitter, your OnlyFans. All those things.
Can't speak to that, but
all those things supplement your channel. It's easier to get noticed on other platforms than it is to get on Twitch because there's multiple people doing it. The way, I mean, it's gotten better from when we first started, like years and years ago, where the big streamers ruled the roost. There was no discoverability on the homepage at all. So you were at, people's mercy to scroll down the directory. But
the way you used to gain followers, sorry to cut you off again, is by luck streaming the same game as another streamer who's benevolent enough to drop into your stream and raid you, and you'll get follows that way. And maybe people will genuinely come back, like be yourself, gain some followers that are interested in the game you're playing. So that was, it's luck. It's pure luck, but that was a good way to gain followers.
Yeah, it's yeah. There were nights where nobody would show up. There were nights where some people would just give me $200.
Right.
It's random.
Also, one more piece of. I'm sorry. You want to go first? I won't forget mine.
Okay. One of the most important things what I just said, some nights you'll get 0, some nights you'll get, a crazy night.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let the crazy nights be your measurement for success. The internet is up and down constantly.
There's so many variables you cannot control.
Yeah. So for the most part, yeah, you got lucky, but it's not always going to be that way. And don't tie your statistics to your self-worth. That's the
Don't look
worst
at the
thing.
numbers. Yeah.
That's the worst thing you could do. Because all it'll do is just burn you out and make you hate it. That's what I did. I hated it for a while.
Mm-hmm. You will equate that with your self-worth or the quality of your streams. I would really turn off the numbers. I would be grateful with any success that comes, whether it's follows are very rare on Twitch, whether it's bits or subs or just someone chatting in your channel. Just be very grateful for what you get. Those are all amazing ways to support. Any way to interact, even lurking, be really grateful for that. Mention that. But do not let your numbers affect how you feel. That's why I'm like, just don't even look at them. Just enjoy doing it. That's how my goal has never been quantity, but quality. As long as I'm proud of the content that I'm creating, I'm just going to keep doing it. Like, I'm having fun. I like it. It makes me happy. So, don't. Just be authentic. Be yourself.
2 E's. Be yourself.
Be yourself. Yeah, that's an emote on Twitch. So something I wanted to mention, some advice I did get from a panel back when I used to go to conventions, is discoverability, whether you're big, small, medium. Funny thing to say. What you do is, I'm still a little fuzzy on this, but maybe Lou, with like 2 clicks, you could figure it out. But you find out, same thing, like what game is trending in Steam charts or has momentum with sales, or has been, I think the algorithm will pop up like trending games. Make sure you find that in the store, or using a third-party website, because if people are considering getting the game, like on the edge, and you can figure out where interest is based on Steam activity, then people will go to Twitch. Like, they're not going to watch Steam broadcasts. Those are terrible, in my opinion. I've never seen like a cohesive stream. Like, they drop all the time. The frames are terrible, but people will go to Twitch. There's no more Mixer to check out a game, decide before they buy.
The
you can
site,
help your luck, boost your luck +3.
I don't know how relevant this shit is, but I think the site is called twitchstrike.com.
Okay.
You sign in and you link your Twitch, and it'll give you a few games on so basically it runs off of the amount of viewers the top 5% have in that particular category. So right now Fall Guys has 86 channels with 50,000 viewers in it, and the top 5% control 61% of all the viewers, so more than half. So it just gives you like a rough number of like what you'd be able to like discoverability, right? So 61% is like hit or miss. It's like more likely than not you won't be seen. But for something like there's a game here called Fate/Grand Order. 29 channels, 773 views. The ratio is 27. I don't know what the fuck that means, but the top 5% own 26% of all the viewers in there. So the likelihood, on paper at least, is at least people will click your channel if they're interested in this game. And probably nobody gives a fuck about this game, but it's just a number thing.
And if you're shooting for that luck +3, doing these little tricks that may work, may not work, but again, require some luck and some intelligence. If people drop in your channel Don't be fake. And don't be like, whoa, hey, you know, no one ever stops by. Like, be like, hey, what's up? How's your day going? Like, and be grateful they're there. Like, try to make a new friend would be my goal, so they come back.
Mm-hmm. You'd be very surprised on how hard it is for me to watch a stream with how much fucking shit goes on in my day.
Also, boost your luck by shit. Oh well, keep going.
By a bot. By viewers.
Have your mom watch.
Yeah. Yeah, Steam Charts is another way to look at what's trending on Twitter. Obviously, like the bigger games are always going to be like your Counter-Strike, your Dotas, your Valorants, your Battlegrounds, your GTAs or whatever. Yeah, try to find games that you would enjoy. Because ultimately you just want to have fun, right? That's what you should be doing.
Right.
Not to make
I'm not
money.
saying pick games off the Steam chart because they're popular. I mean, you could dabble in that and see, give it a try. You know, streaming and Twitch is a really fun sandbox that you shape. You can create something from nothing. So yeah, give it a try, see, experiment. But what I would recommend is not shooting for the top, but instead shooting for just a attainable goal from where you're at right now. So you're not going to reach, maybe you'll get rated and you'll, you know, jump to the top of the directory for the game, but probably not. So what I would bank on is finding a game that you genuinely enjoy and can be entertaining. Oh, I remembered my luck again. The tip again, boost your luck by, if you're hoping to increase engagement and visibility, you don't know who's watching. Like your bot has a delay, you know, that like viewers catcher list has a delay and isn't 100%, and people could be on incognito mode as well. Don't stop talking. You better keep talking. Do not have a silent stream because no one follows a streamer who's not talking. What's the point? So
yeah,
be engaging even when you think no one is watching.
Very true.
Your mom's probably watching. Make her proud.
Look at my son getting, what are these? Cranking 90s on Fortnite?
That would be funny. Like if you had like a mom that was genuinely like that, like mod your mom, make sure everybody knows it's your mom, and then, you know, she could just do like tisk tisk shame shame. I think it'd be funny.
Yeah, just get lewd on your stream so your mom can watch and judge you.
Yeah,
for
what
eating
could possibly
booty.
go wrong? Yeah.
You want to move on?
Yes, I'm sorry for getting. Ooh,
You're fired
I
up.
feel like I was harping on Twitch. Yeah, I just been thinking about some things, seen some tweets. It was
Passion
like,
has been renewed.
yeah, I have more energy. You can tell I have more energy for things I'm passionate about, and I've been holding it in for 5 months.
So
I'm a volcano.
we have some games coming out. There might be more, but I think these are the big ones I think that we care about, or at least I care about one of them. Fall Guys is coming out on the 4th of August. We are in August.
Very soon.
Good news for the plebs, the PS4, the stable, the ponies. You're getting that shit for free, brothers. $20 for free, which is big.
Yeah, they should keep doing things like that, trying to flood the, you know, servers with players.
Fun fact, you know what's another big game that launched on PS4 for free?
Gamer Girl.
No, Rocket League.
Oh.
Yeah.
They must be trying again to boost the player base.
No, when Rocket League released, it was free.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Yeah, so Fall Guys is releasing for free for you guys. Congratulations, $20 gained. I'm excited.
Is there
for
cross-platform play on that? I'm sorry,
I
cross-platform.
don't think so.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe. Actually, that's a good question.
That would seem like a big task for an indie game, but yeah, Rocket League has it.
It will not support cross-platform play at launch. It's being considered though.
Soon TM.
It needs to be. I don't think there's any particular advantage for being on PC versus on console. I I would prefer to play this on a controller, by the way.
Are you gonna go hard in this? Do you predict that you'll be super competitive, or will you just find it funny and have a good time?
I think it'll be funny. I think I'll have the most fun being a grabber. Just picking some random fuckboy in there and just grabbing him until he can't finish.
You just have a lot of rage to release, it sounds like.
Oh yeah, of course. I'm pretty much angry.
Gonna fuck up some kids in that game.
Yeah, I'm excited. This game looks really, really fun. I don't know about the replayability though. If I've seen they have a decent amount of mini games that you get. There's like some single ones, there's some team ones that look fucking ridiculous. I think my favorite one is the egg one, because the egg one you could go into people's like little nests or whatever and like fucking yoink their eggs. It looks trolly. It looks like a really fun like party game, getting a whole bunch of people. I hope they have private matches eventually. I don't know if it will at launch, but this looks like a really, really fun, just brainless game. And it's a BR kind of at its core, right? But it's not a shooter, so woof, we dodged that bullet. That looks like only half a hypocrite.
Play it. It looks like a lot of fun. I can't wait to play it. Lou knows a lot more about it than I do. I have not been watching any streams of it, but and tip of the cap to their PR and marketing. They are knocking it out of the park. Like, and they have, they're retweeting like all sorts of. I love how Devolver works. They don't care what size your channel is. They'll work with you, if they like your content, if you'll represent their brand well. Oh my gosh. If you ever have the chance, work with them. Anyway. Yeah. I love how Devolver does it.
Did you buy the game yet?
No. Did I? I don't know, but I will.
Hold off on that one. I'm gonna put in for something. That's Fall Guys. On the same day, Horizon Zero Dawn is coming out for PC. Pumped. The day has come where we get a PlayStation exclusive on PC.
Yeah. I'm going to have you play that or somebody play it and then tell me if I should get it.
Maybe. It might be like Breath of the Wild-esque. Who knows? I'm excited.
Just the open world, but there's a story. I already know the story because I watched streams of it. Never thought I would play it. But it has Lance Reddick in it, like, right? Hello?
I believe so, yeah.
Play anything with him. And I think he he's pretty prominent throughout. Like, he's not just like a, NPC small role.
Yeah, he plays one of the main people. I don't know what he plays. I don't know anything about this game. All I know is space stuff.
Yeah, robot dinosaurs or some shit.
Yeah.
And a bow. She has a bow. But yeah, that's why you said Breath of the Wild. That makes sense. Yeah, I really just want Lance Reddick from The Wire, and somehow he's like an ageless wizard. He like does these videos of him doing voiceovers. I was like, you look the exact same as when you were in The Wire. How long ago was that?
The Wire, 2005, I think, was the last year.
So almost 20 years, so 15 years, yeah.
No, I think, hold on.
Early HBO. Can't remember the year because I watched it after the fact, not when it was airing.
2002 to 2008.
I didn't have HBO.
Omar coming.
What did he whistle? He would whistle like the farmer in the Dell.
Yeah.
Omar coming. He just had that giant shotgun.
Hey, yo, Omar coming.
Also, a very rare representation of a gay, or maybe he was bisexual. I don't know, but he was gay in some way, and he had a boyfriend or two throughout his character development and his story, but it wasn't baiting. It was just like, oh, Omar's gay. Like one of the kingpins is gay. Cool. And it was never a thing on the show. It's just like, yo,
he was never. I don't think he was a kingpin. He was just a guy nobody fucked with.
Like a chaotic neutral, but like
he was the wild card. Like nobody wanted to fuck with Omar because he
was a lot like the Joker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. And I, thinking back to it, how that's such an early representation of he's a gay man, and he's not a villain. Often homosexual characters are the villains, which is it gets old.
He kind of was, depending on your
You
perspective.
rooted for him. No one doesn't like Omar.
Yes, but depending on your perspective, like he might be a villain to someone else.
Yeah, but in the show, everyone was neither good nor evil. It was the complication of survival.
Listen, that Marlin motherfucker was evil. I don't care what anybody says. He was evil.
Yeah. Omar was not like him. Anyway. Ooh. Maybe we should rewatch The Wire.
I'm down for that.
Some of the seasons are not great. Some of the seasons are rough, like the one with the kids. Oh, I can't watch that again.
That was early on too.
Heartbreak. Yeah, like I'm not even like a big fan of, like, I don't like kids, but man, they told those kids' stories so well.
Where's Wallace? So Xbox unveiled some game stuff.
Mm-hmm.
LOL, Halo Infinite was revealed. I really don't give a shit about anything else they've said.
People on my timeline are pumped about it.
On everything else? I'm talking about Halo. I'm interested about Halo, not anything else.
Halo fans, hello.
Yeah, this is interesting. Do you know anything about this?
No. I just know people are excited.
Open world Halo. The graphics seem a little not next gen-y,
It's a big dose of nostalgia from what I've seen. People are like, I want to go back to this view, and it's like Master Chief on his Warthog, from like it was real gameplay, like an in-game photo.
Yeah, I don't know. It's concerning because this is supposed to be on the next gen consoles, but supposed to release on the Xbox One.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that transition period because the games that come out during that time get scapegoated for having to run on two different consoles.
Mm-hmm.
It looked okay. I want to see multiplayer though, for sure. But the graphics looked a little dumbed down.
Not a release purchase.
Actually, you could get the Xbox Game Pass, and this and a bunch of other ones. I think there's like a Fable game, like a remaster or a remake or something like that they're touting. I wasn't a big Fable fan, so I really don't care.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this will be on their Xbox Game Pass. So technically, you can rent it for like 30 days for like $15. Play it on PC.
Yeah, see if the nostalgia holds up.
Yeah.
I had fun times in Halo. I was a Xbox thumb warrior for a very long time just because of the accessibility of it. Like, get a console, you can play. Lots of fun games. It was just a source of entertainment. So, yeah, I played Halos. Enjoyed it. Spent a lot of time goofing off, doing custom games, things like that. Playing
Halo 1 custom games. I was like the family party, like gridiron. I remember going to an uncle's house, and he had like the big flat screen TV, and he had a brother, which had brung his Xbox over, and we had a fucking LAN party.
Peak gaming. It was so easy. Yeah. As opposed to like a PC LAN, that takes some work.
That and GoldenEye 007 was another one.
And Perfect Dark.
Perfect Dark, yes. I love Perfect Dark. That had bots in it, so I didn't have to have friends to play with
me. It would just play over and over again.
Those bots were ruthless.
Yeah, they would own you. Like, yeah. Really good bots. Like to meet the designer that designed those there. Yeah,
but I like the direction that Xbox is going through. I wish PlayStation would take this to heart too. Please put your games on PC. Just let the PC players. I would love nothing more than to play God of War, like the new one that just came out. I think it's like 5 or 4. I would love to play it on PC. It looks great on console. Can you imagine what it would look like on a 2080 Ti with like ray tracing and shit like that? It would look amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, props to Microsoft for doing that, but most of their shit is lackluster. You want to talk about Paper Mario, or did we already go over that?
Just a quick note, we still don't have Paper Mario reviews. I don't think we mentioned it. Origami King thoughts will be coming very soon. I'm planning on playing it today, tomorrow, maybe streaming it, but just giving it a quick test. But definitely gonna jump in.
Yeah, I requested that for my birthday, so I don't have it yet. I didn't want to spend any money for it.
Oh, okay.
Quickly for the Animal Crossing stuff, I will play this new update. If I can get it on the Switch Lite, I will play much more time than I have before.
Yeah. Yep, I agree. Do you want to? We didn't mention in the list the analog pocket. Do you want to talk about it real quick, or save thoughts for after the pre-sale, or
No, let's mention the pre-sale. The pre-sale is gonna happen.
or pre-order?
Yeah. What is it called again?
It's the Pocket. I know you can't remember the name. It's terrible in my opinion. It's called Pocket, and it's by Analog. And they didn't do a good job, in my opinion, of showing exactly the size of it. But the pictures with the dock, I feel like, are awful. It looks like you walked into,
It's Game Boy Color, right? Game Boy Color size?
I have no idea. Like, I don't know. There wasn't good like reference photos to the size. I was able to find the price, which is $200 for the system, the Pocket, and then $99 for the dock. What I was trying to say though is the dock looks like when you walked into a hotel room, in the Holiday Inn, that you used to put your iPhone or your iPod in so you could have some tunes. I was just really surprised at the design. I found it bland. Yeah. Why do you want a Game Boy that looks like an iPod first gen?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing for this one is not an emulator, right? It's hardware that can play a whole bunch of stuff, like Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, Game Gear, Neo Geo Pocket, Atari Lynx, with cartridge adapters. So they're probably going to sell you these cartridge adapters. So the specs, right? What they posted was 3.5 inch, 615 pixels per inch LCD, which is not that bad. 1600 by 1440 resolution. That's 10 times the resolution of the original Game Boy.
Okay.
Decent color accuracy. I don't know, because the yield in screens is so different and varying. I'm not even going to claim that. Right. Dynamic range and brightness, same thing. And it's Gorilla Glass. It's like a minimalistic thing, right? Like they're going for either a white or a black color scheme with like green buttons. There's a market for this, right? People want to play their original cards. You can't put a price on that, I don't think. Especially if the hardware is decent. And that also absolves them from any, mighty cack that Nintendo or Atari, whoever, wants to like lay on their face because they're not emulation. It's not an emulation station.
Right. Well, okay, it's not an emulator. So then what is it? It's these games are ports, to a better hardware.
So it's a, think of it as it has the hardware to run and the code to run original cartridges. So you take your original Super Mario's from Game Boy or Game Boy Color, or your original Pokemon from Game Boy, and you put it in there and it'll work on that screen. So
point though, because those games weren't designed for high resolution screens,
Yeah, so that's when they do that weird shit where the software comes into play and it'll either dynamically stretch it or I think what did the Game Boy Color screen? I think it was a 2.5-inch screen. Game Boy Color screen size. Because you could scale it.
Why buy this? Why is it worth the money? How is it different from my BitBoy? Is it worth the astronomical cost? I guess so. It will be for some people.
So the Game Boy Color
is this really worth collecting?
Game Boy Color was 3.1 inches by 5.26. Wait, not the screen. I don't know what centimeters are.
Even after someone tells me over and over again.
So, in my opinion, this is a higher end hardware for playing original games. Meaning, this is supposed to get rid of your Game Boy, your Game Boy Advance, your Neo Geo. I don't know who the fuck is playing Neo Geo or Game Gear, but retro stuff has taken, especially Nintendo stuff, has taken a turn in the last couple years. Things have gotten really expensive. Have you checked at all?
No.
Yeah, original Game Boy Colors and even have you ever seen the light up Game Boys? Like the Japan exclusives? There's something called the Game Boy Light. Those things go for hundreds of dollars, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm holding on to my Game Boys, holding on to my Wii, my Wii U. I don't care if you say they're a piece of garbage. I'm gonna hold on to them. And I'm holding on to it in 64.
I wish I had my old consoles. I don't have any room for it though.
I really like the Wii because you could play GameCube games on there. Played a lot of Pikmin. Lots of other things.
Yeah, there's one Game Boy Light on eBay that has a fucked up housing for $112.
Wow.
And you have to ship it from Japan. This is basically a Game Boy 1, like the original Game Boy with just a backlight on it.
Right.
Would I buy this thing for $200? Hell no. $100 dock? No. Do I think it's overpriced? The dock? No. I don't think so. Because to get these games to run on an HD TV screen, those adapters cost around that same price anyway, and you would need multiple for different little plug-in thingies. Different strokes for different folks. I mean, the BitBoy is what? The BitBoy plays an emulator, right?
I just feel like this is heavily marketed towards early adapters. Yeah, I guess it's not for me. No comprendo.
Yeah, this is definitely not for me as well. I'm definitely on the side where I would like to, have the games, but just download the ROMs, and have them on, say, I think there's a machine called the GPX. I think it looks like a 3DS. I think.
That's cool.
Yeah, I don't remember what it's called. Who knows? But it looks like it's like a little mini PC, and it works relatively well. I think it could play up to maybe PlayStation 1 games without completely fucking shitting itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, not for me. This pocket thing is not for me.
Yeah, because it's the cost of a Switch if you buy the dock. in the pocket.
Yeah.
Cost of a Switch.
And keep in mind that this is not going to be released. This is a pre-order. So these things are going to be manufactured sometime between whenever pre-orders close and maybe next year, maybe the following year. But also keep in the back of your mind that we have a couple delays to talk about later. That applies to hardware too, because these things are made in China. So.
Yeah, and they have to, obtain a lot of parts. So yeah, I bet there's delays.
And you might get slapped with a tariff as well. Did we talk about the Go XLR? Previously,
is it worth talking about? I don't see the worth for the money of that.
I think it's worth the money once you figure out what it is. It's ultimately stupid, but it does what I need it to do. But it went from $399 to almost $500.
LOL. Just buy a mixer. Buy a mixer and a Stream Deck.
It's kind of worth the price, and it works with a Stream Deck as well. But the reason why it went up is because the Go XLR is made in China. They got slapped with $100 tariff to bring it into the United States. That's what brought the price up. It wasn't TC Helicon being little shits about it. The tariffs brought that price up. So the same thing might happen with this Pocket thing. Who knows? Who knows what the fuck is going to go on in a year and a half? We might not be here. So
there might not be a postal service.
Yeah, among other things.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Grounded next week. I'm gonna rant about this shit.
To TV?
Grounded is a video game, but we could talk about TV.
Yeah. Well, quick plug time. Let's go ahead and do it now because we're almost at an hour. So if you've listened this long, thank you very much. Remember to follow, like, subscribe, interact with us. Movie nights on Monday, new episodes every Friday. Find us on Twitter at LowerBitrate. Yeah, let's talk TV and then talk about the movie Boy.
I finished Unsolved Mysteries.
I
enjoyed it.
I really want to know. Oh, you liked it. Okay.
I enjoyed it.
I really wanted to know your reaction.
But some of the shit was like, I can't even wrap my head around it. That last story, that bitch is still walking this earth.
Yeah.
Scary shit.
That was a weird one. That was like Tiger King and Carol Baskin.
Yeah. Yeah. I think my favorite one was probably the UFOs because it was like really lighthearted or whatever. It seemed kind of a little ridiculous to me. Some of them are faking that shit. Come on. They have to be. Yeah, it was decent. It captured the essence of those like unsolved mystery TV shows from way back in the day.
Entertainment, suspenseful. Yeah. Entertaining, suspenseful, and not I guess there was a little bit of a corniness to it, but the stories were really presented in a good, like what seems like a documentary fashion. I don't know. It was just, I like the way it was done. Another note, the two that stuck with me the most were the guy that was in like Kansas or Michigan and went to a party in another town, like in a really rural area. And this young man, people know what happened, but no one will say what happened in the small town and how he wound up dead. That was really heartbreaking just because he was just a young man. And then the first one, I think it was with Ray and the flip-flops on the roof.
Yeah, that one was fucking weird.
Yeah, so that was really interesting, but that's also been interesting because I was like, they're gonna solve this. Like, people know what happened. like in that small town. I really hope someone speaks up that knows what happened, just so the family can get some justice and just be able to lay, their loved one to rest, not to not know what happened. But then same thing with the Ray one. And I read on Nerdist that they've gotten a lot of tips about the Ray case, and even like a credible one. So I was like, yes, I hope they solve at least one of these.
Yeah, I hope they do more. We have another point about movies and stuff. I think stuff like this, I don't think it was low quality, but low impact production where you don't need to have 50 million people on set, where you can have a few and you can record things.
Really low on the reenactments, because those are just always terrible.
Yes.
Done well, just rarely done. Allowed the survivors and, the victims' families to just really tell their story, it felt like.
Mm-hmm. You want to talk about those other two shows?
Yeah, there's lots of good shows out now, guys. Lots of good entertainment. I hope it continues. So there's a show called Warrior Nun. Weird name. But give it I think it would be more popular if it had a different name. I don't know if it's based on a comic. It definitely could be. It has that feel. We're watching the story of a hero rise to power. And also this like secret like assassination society somehow. And yeah, I want to learn more. It reminds me a lot of when Arya in Game of Thrones was in the House of Black and White. Just her training there and her experience. Young woman assassin.
I hate Game of Thrones.
Are you going to give Warrior Nun a try?
Yeah, what is it on?
Netflix.
Nice.
Everyone give it a try. It's good. There's a lot of other shows that seem like I tried like The Order. I think they're just trying to be like Supernatural and Sabrina crosses. Like it's a lot of people that will just watch fantasy shows. And this is vampire. I think The Order is vampire and werewolves. So, that tale as old as time. But so there's shows on Netflix you could watch. Maybe they'll be your genre, or you can handle the level of repetitive storytelling or cheesy acting. There's lots of TV. You have any TV to add before we? Should we mention?
Yeah, mention it if you want.
Well, I also watched only one, maybe 2 episodes of Norseman, and it has 3 seasons. So it's just very crude and very lewd, and I'd like to give hello trigger warnings. It's definitely not for everyone. I found it funny. It's very good satire, but it is the crudest, harshest satire and parody that you'll see. So you gotta like dark comedy a lot.
I'll check that one out. I want to laugh. So
any more TV to add? Is it movie time?
I think it's movie time. Avatar 2 got delayed, which is interesting. Because Avatar 2 was not supposed to come out this fucking year. It was supposed to come out next year in December.
Are people hyped for this?
I don't even listen. I'm gonna die before this comes out. Pretty much, because it's gonna keep getting delayed. How long has it been since Avatar 1? 11 years?
Yeah, I would rather see Titanic 2, whatever the fuck that means. The prequel or some, the aftermath done by James Cameron. So then see Avatar 2. Is that a bad thing to say? Is that an unpopular opinion?
Yes. For most people. I don't share that. Avatar 1 had a very basic story. That shit was Pocahontas with fucking blue people. Let's be honest.
Right. I'm like, how original is it? I understand that special effects and the way it was produced was unique for the time, but I'm like, how are they gonna reinvent the wheel they reinvented? So yeah, maybe it's deserving of the hype, but just not a huge James Cameron fan unless the film is Titanic.
Or Terminator.
You liked his Terminator?
Yeah,
oh, okay.
Terminator 2?
All
I think
right.
Terminator 2 is the best one.
Okay.
So my point was this. If Avatar was supposed to release 2021 December, tentatively, obviously, that's no longer the case. That means that production on movies and TV is going to be very goofy for the next
Halted,
year,
perhaps? Yeah.
year and a half. So this brings up questions like, what is going to happen to The Mandalorian that just got nominated for like 15 Emmys?
Right.
What's going to happen to The Witcher? What's going to happen to all these other shows that we're expecting a season to pop up this year? I don't know. We'll see. In the opposite news, Tenet got a release date again.
Is this gonna happen?
It's gonna keep flip flopping, yeah. So worldwide, I think it's gonna be on the 26th of August, something like that. 26th to the 28th of August, and the following week, Labor Day weekend. So I think from September 3rd, it's gonna release in quote certain United States cities. So pretty much,
All right.
whoever's not fucking like everything's imploding because of the virus, pretty much.
They're gonna show it in Fargo because there's no one that lives there. Yeah. I thought so. Are they taking the L? They're gonna take what they can get. They're conceding and saying we're gonna take whatever money we can get. We've been holding on to this for too long. Because it's going to be about the money. There's not going to be any fan service where they're like, all right, we're releasing it for the fans. No, that's not happening.
Yeah, I'm not seeing.
How are they going to make the money?
I don't know if it's the money or if it's like his creative vision, Christopher Nolan. But the Chainsmokers did a Southampton's like coronavirus fucking relief
charity
concert. And these motherfuckers are packed like roaches there, bro. I'm like,
yeah, tickets were thousands of dollars for that too, which I found hilarious.
Yeah, you give any people to do with anything to do, they will go. Not me. I'm good. I'll wait for the bootleg to come out when people in like fucking Hong Kong or wherever.
I would buy it on release day. I'm like, come on, guys, like charge $20. I predict you'll have a huge success with the release. Like,
I'll pay $30.
Yeah,
I'll pay $30 to watch to have this and own this and just watch it on my, quote unquote big screen TV with my sound bar. I have no problems with that. I'm just not risking
the safety of your own home.
Yeah, I'm not risking my safety. I'm sure I can get it and I'll be fine. It's just other people around me. Me being crippled and not being able to work is a detriment to the household that I help run. So, no go for me. No movies for me.
Well, do you think the hype is for the new Christopher Nolan movie? And the cast is great. It has John David Washington in it. He's amazing. Like we're hyped for it, but Christopher Nolan, it like is his name known enough to like sell this movie where it's like, oh, it's the next Christopher Nolan. He directs and writes his own films, and like I'm like, is this gonna be enough? Like I feel like it's a cinephile thing.
I think so. I think I think he's one of the few directors that people will see his movies just because.
He have involvement in Westworld too. He was touted as part of the marketing of that. Like he was a producer.
He was a producer, yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, ooh, I'm gonna watch it. It's gonna have that Chris Nolan, touch. No.
Especially not the last 2 seasons. But producers, I don't think producers have any like say, right? Like they're not the writers, they're not directing anything.
I mean, in my opinion, just producing a stream, that means everything. Like, he could have dusted some powder on someone's face, and it's like, oh, he's part of the production.
We'll see. I mean, I'm really hyped for this, but I'm not that hyped to go to a movie theater.
The risk.
I will tell you this though. This movie not doing well across the United States and people have to come back, making AMC bleed money again, not stopping the bleeding will be the end of movie theaters unless they get bailed out.
This will be the final jab that kills him. Yeah, I've already been like, they're dead, in my opinion. But could be wrong. This will be the test.
Yeah, I mean, 100 people packed into a theater is not kosher for what time we're living in. Not this timeline.
Like, are they going to do no snacks? Concessions is how they make so much money, because then they could say, yes, you have to wear a mask.
Imagine if they put plexiglass in between every fucking seat.
I'm just like, how can you safely eat and drink? No one's going to be wearing masks. So I guess they're seeing it as like you're going to a restaurant, because in Texas, you don't have to wear a mask when you're like eating it inside a restaurant. So stupid. Yep.
I can't see any way. Maybe I'm just too stupid, but I can't see any way that they make profit, have decent prices, because I don't know how expensive the movies are in your area. They're fucking expensive here. Tickets are like
they're a
$20.
lot more. Yeah, I feel like they're more expensive in New York, but going to Alamo Drafthouse, the ticket price is comparable, is fair. But you spend money on the food there. It's so good.
Yeah, I just can't see them having the staff to clean and disinfect after every showing, having less showings because of it, because they have to take at least 20 minutes to clean this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Have everyone safe. It just I cannot see that. Sorry.
Oh gosh, I hope this isn't harsh, because people need to work. People want their jobs back. That's part of trying to open it too. But I'm like, theater, the people that take the tickets and rip them in this time should not be considered essential. Like, that's just, hello? Like, I don't think that's a crazy opinion.
No, movie theaters at all not essential. I don't think the whole thing is not essential. Getting
that buttered popcorn is not essential.
Yeah, I can't see them, because remember, movie theaters want to make profit. They don't make profit off of the movies themselves. It's all about concessions.
Right. Yeah, I'll be interested to see where this goes.
Yeah, it's gonna be a clusterfuck. I'm just gonna sit back, relax, and just watch the chaos ensue on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm good. Guns Amiibo.
Akimbo. No. Akimbo means like dual wielding guns. Pretty sure. Ooh, hope I didn't butcher that word. But I don't want to tell you anything about it, because I thought it looked cheesy, and I was like, it's so violent. I don't know. I want to watch this. Started watching it. It's fucking hilarious. Like, if you are a millennial in any sense near that age gap, you're going to enjoy this, because it's about entertainment, and concurrence is a plot theme. But yes, it's very violent.
How was Mr. Potter?
Very good. Yeah, my friend was calling it the next Harry Potter movie. The next Harry Potter movie in the series is fucking awesome.
Harry Potter loses it.
Harry Potter
I'm a what?
Commits genocide on the Muggles. Yeah.
You're a wizard. We may or may not watch this as a bonus movie night. Up in the air.
I want to watch it again.
Next movie night. On the 3rd of August, which is next Monday, we're going to be watching Dallas Buyers Club.
Join us. Again, our episodes release Fridays. So, when you're listening to this Monday after the weekend, come join us at 7 p.m. Central.
Yeah, when you'll be listening to this, I'll be a year older.
Gross.
Vomiting. We watched this week Taika Waititi's first feature film called Boy.
Yeah. I had seen it before, so I'm interested in your impressions.
I enjoyed this movie. First of all.
Mm-hmm.
This was, in my opinion, we watched Jojo Rabbit a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This was like the grassroots concept for Jojo Rabbit on a lesser scale. Like you could tell that this was very low budget.
Mm-hmm.
The runtime reflects that as well. It was only an hour and 20 something minutes, right?
Did you mind that it was low budget, low production?
No. I didn't mind that at all.
Okay.
I thought that the story was personal. It felt personal.
Mm-hmm.
Taika Waititi obviously acts in his own movies. He played the dad. Forget his fucking name. Alamein?
Alamein. Yeah. But they didn't go by that. And then the main character, he was called Boy, and he's the son of Alamein. He's the junior. So
yeah, it was equal parts like a walk down New Zealand indigenous people culture,
mm-hmm.
which is not a common view that you get.
Mm-hmm.
A coming of age story, kind of.
Definitely.
A story about grief. Some stereotypes about the 80s as well. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot.
I forgot how it pulls on the heartstrings. I teared up. It got me the second watch. There are some heavy moments. I mean, yeah, but they're told through children's eyes. So you feel really sad because as an adult, you're like, holy shit, this is fucked up. This is going to be a major moment in this kid's life for the rest of his life. But it's just the kids, they're survivors and their life is really hard. Living, apparently it's the east coast of New Zealand. So just the life of this gang of children, kind of left to themselves, living in poverty. They don't even have running water.
Yeah.
They showed what they ate too, which one of the meals was ripped up bread, slosh of milk, which was powdered milk mixed with water, and sugar.
Wait, no. That right there was, so obviously this one, I didn't really take it personally because it wasn't about me, but I could relate on some ways. My dad's a piece of shit, so I could relate on some form with this movie. So the meals, right, were a reflection in my head of him taking on the role of his dad, like him wanting to be his dad when he was like engulfed in like the whole like biker gang thing, and he wanted to help his dad find the money, like things at home kind of like took a shit.
Yeah, and the other kids would say that too. Like some of the kids were his cousins, but then it didn't really say, it didn't really explain where because the dad would be like, there's all these fucking kids around. like they get, like he was complaining, they get the best, which is they get nothing. And he was like, I deserve something. And it's like, he's such a shithead. He doesn't give a shit about these kids unless they can do something for him.
Yeah, and it speaks upon like, obviously these kids have experienced some sort of trauma, like their parents are not around. They have boy, which is about, how old would you say he was? Like 10, maybe?
He said he was 11, I think, in the beginning.
Okay, so he was very, very young.
Mm-hmm.
And to take on that responsibility to be responsible for your brother and your small little cousins while your grandmother goes out to
babies. Yeah, they were like toddlers.
Yeah, that's a pretty big like plate that you got there. So yeah, so basically the story is boy I think he was already born at this point when his mom died. His mom died giving birth.
Mm-hmm.
And the story unravels when you really start seeing that, his dad, Taika Waititi, ain't shit, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a liar and a manipulator.
Yeah. And the worst dad. Some people are just bad parents, but just, it's like, dude, why didn't you not have children? Like, maybe consider that if you're such a horrible person.
When you looked at the pictures, right? When they showed old pictures of the wife, very beautiful, by the way. She and him looked very happy. Like, look at his attire and the way he didn't have any tattoos. I don't remember seeing any tattoos.
Yeah, those were prison tattoos.
Yeah, that motherfucker was in jail. He looked like a normal dad or whatever. He looked happy. And then even when they flash back to when the mom had passed and the baby, the younger baby was born, you could tell there was some sort of break in his psyche where he just wanted to fucking just go. You know what I mean? And not be a dad and do his own thing. Probably get involved in some crime.
It was told from the perspective of boy, which his memories, weren't accurate. It's through this child's eyes. It's based on his experience. So children don't exactly have an accurate view of the world. They have absolutely no life experience. So the ways that boy saw it, as he grew, I think it matured and really saw his dad for what he was, not someone worth his idolization and admiration. Yeah, I don't.
I didn't take it that way.
Really?
Yeah, I think the way the flashbacks was true.
But then I thought later in the film, maybe I'll have to go back and watch the scene. They showed the accurate depiction, which was the dad wasn't in the pictures. He was absent. He wasn't there. And the mom actually looked kind of sad when she was pregnant.
Okay, I might have to go back and watch that too. I don't remember that.
Which I think is powerful because we have different memories. It's like there were two stories. There was the story being told. Yeah, the story being told through the child's eyes, which, by the way, Taika Waititi does an excellent job of doing. Just the simplicity of his perspective and Jojo Rabbit, it was just so good. Just really also taking humor out of just everyday life and the hardships of life, but also humor that was simple and landed, and it was told by the kids. I really liked it a lot, obviously.
Yeah. And I don't even want to discount his performance as the dad. I didn't like the dad, but that means that's like Joffrey, right? I didn't like you, and that means that you're doing a good job.
Right. And tip of the cap to Taika Waititi for being unlikable. He's the most charismatic,
Yes.
He's like Robin Williams, he's just who doesn't like him? He's hilarious.
That played to his strength too, because he would be the cool dad or whatever, and then he goes and turns into that monster when he had the jacket on, when he was at the store buying the what do they call it, ice blocks?
Yeah, I forget, they had a word for it that I'd never heard, but it was just this really simple ice pop,
yeah, ice blocks or ice bricks or something like that. It was basically an icy. And yeah, he turns into that monster, and then he comes back and tries to, his little shit-eating grin, tries to get his son to be on his side. And then his son just basically gives him the birds and the bees, yo, bro, you killed my fucking goat. Here's your money. He ate it. Sit on that shit. And then
Did you see that coming when he found the money? What was your first thought?
well, I like paying attention to little tidbits, like little
Mhm.
storytelling, foreshadowing.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that was gonna happen.
Right. Yeah, you had a feeling because this kid found the money. What would a child do as soon as he had money, which he's never had in his life?
Yeah,
He goes down and buys his mates popsicles. They all get an ice block, which is all he wanted this entire movie. Poor kid. Just can't. And then the point too, just sidetrack, where he's like, I'm really bored and I want an ice block. And the lady's like, well, get a job. And he's like, there aren't any. You have them all. Like, this woman works like 10 jobs on the island. Like, poor kid can't do anything to make some money. So he finds a cache of cash and does what any kid would do, goes down and buys a bunch of ice cream and then hides the money away. And you're like, that money, how long until it's gone? It's not even going to last a day, right?
yeah. And essentially, that was only like $600, $700, right? In
Oh, I
US
don't
money.
know.
It was like 800 and something in New Zealand bucks.
But that would be for them $800.
That's a lot of fucking money. That's probably
That's
like 2
probably-
years worth of work.
I mean, it seemed like, I'm not sure what New Zealand is like. I'm sure they were getting some sort of like assistance just because of the way they were living. Like, they did have food, but they didn't have a lot of necessities. It was just like enough to survive, barely.
Yeah.
And like the kids wore the same tattered clothes the whole movie. They just didn't even have like other sets of clothing. I don't know how, like, again, how much assistance they were getting. So that much money could, almost cover them for a year to get some decent food, feed the kids.
Yeah, I love how he you could tell this was a very personal project for
Mhm.
Taika Waititi because he touched on a lot of things. Absent fathers, poverty, the displacement of children, the burden on grandparents and other family members to provide and leave the kids alone.
Right.
The burden of the oldest being the provider and the
Caregiver.
caregiver to all these kids.
And being
Abuse.
mom and dad, like he was like mother and father to these kids. I'm sorry.
Right.
Yes. And the abuse. Yep.
Yeah, because one of the I think it's if I'm not mistaken, that's his cousin.
Yes.
The store
That
owner, she was gambling and lost it. And the next time you see, I think his cousin, which is the store owner's daughter, which is the sister of Boy's mom, she's passed. She had a fucking egg shiner on her
So-
face.
that was the result, though, because you remember like the scene before and what happens directly after. Gosh, I forgot her name. It was something like Mercedes or something. That cousin, her job is to manage the weed, and she grows and then harvests the weed and then gives it to her dad, who is like the weed distributor, probably of that entire area. So what happens is Boy goes out, steals weed, and is giving it to his dad. So his dad starts selling it. But as Boy is stealing like a lot of the weed, he passes her, the cousin, in the field, and they just stop and look at each other because she's like, I can't stop you, but like, what the fuck are you doing? So then I think the dad, he blamed her for the weed getting stolen and she got a shiner.
I missed that one.
That was my interpretation, just because they were staring at each other in the field. Because my thought when they were stealing all that weed, like, when like the cousin is going to get the rap for this.
I don't remember that. Do you think that this was a good first attempt at a movie for Taika Waititi?
I thought it was excellent. I really enjoyed it. I've watched it twice now. I would watch it again. Maybe not like this week, but if someone else hadn't seen it, I would definitely sit down and watch it. Just because of it has so much heart. And The actors are incredible. He cast all indigenous actors. Even like the one white teacher, he was like telling Boy at one point, he was like, don't let them get you down. They call me an old white honky all the time. And Boy's like, well, why don't you hit them? You know, Boy's response, like, hit them if they upset you. And he's like, because they're children. I can't hit them.
Yeah.
And then he's like, you have a lot of potential. And Boy goes, what's potential? And then the teacher looks at his watch, turns around and walks away and goes, 3:30, I'm off the clock. And the other teacher that would just smoke during class, like, doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah. I love this movie. Taika Waititi has such a big. It's also written by him and directed by him and acted. He has such a big range
Mm-hmm.
of what he could do. So he could do something that's like kind of lighthearted, kind of a story about where he's from. Then he goes from that to from previously Flight of the Conchords.
Mm-hmm.
What We Do in the Shadows, Hunt for the Wilder People apparently is another New Zealand story. And then that banger, Thor Ragnarok,
Mm-hmm.
Jojo Rabbit, The Mandalorian, and apparently he's going to do a Star Wars film. So, yeah, I don't think he could do any wrong. He's one of my favorite newish directors.
He is underrated. Like, yes, he won Oscars for Jojo Rabbit, but he should have won an Oscar for Boy in some way. It was so good. It was deserving of more than it got. And I think Taika, keep working with kids. Like, it's such a rare talent to be able to act, direct, write for children and cast children. Like, It's difficult. It reminded me of another movie, Mud, where the children were amazing, really believable, and really grabbed, you were really interested in their stories and their narratives.
Yeah, I think one of his strengths is definitely casting.
Mm-hmm.
He he knows what he's doing, especially for like What We Do in the Shadows, which I thought had a great cast.
All New Zealand again. It's just he's really maybe that's why he's underrated, is because he works with, like, you remember, it's like New Zealand film, like New Zealand films, like, it's like everything gets pushed through like some sort of like government, but it's almost like a pride and honoring where he came from, as an indigenous person from New Zealand, like telling these untold stories. I love it. Keep doing it.
I know what works well with Taika Waititi. His movies are paced very well.
Yes. And comedy is timing. And even though there's no jokes, there's a lot of humor.
Yeah, and I feel like he's one of those dudes, like, I don't know him personally, and I've barely seen any interviews with him, but he seems like the type of guy that would, like, pause. You know what I mean? When something's, like, funny, like, he has that type of, like, humor.
Mm-hmm. Even though it's not accidental, his humor seems all accidental. Like,
seamless, like effortless.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad you mentioned the timing too, because a lot of time he takes his time. It's a slow, like the kids walking, didn't mind it at all. Showed the countryside where they lived, the harshness of but beautiful, East Coast. So it showed a lot of that, and it took its time as a slice of life for these people in New Zealand. But then other times it was quick. Like, he's like, hello, my name is Boy. My dad is a deep sea fisherman, a Navy veteran. Like, and it's just flashing through like this funny montage of Taika being Taika. So sometimes it's fast, but a lot of times it takes its time.
Yeah, and he has a knack for actually progressing the story and conveying some type of message without actually saying anything to you, like without spoon feeding it to you.
Mm,
He did that very well in Jojo Rabbit as well.
agreed. Like he sets the scene, but it's never boring.
Yeah.
And it's subtle and well done. Like Tarantino movies, I remember some of the opening scenes because they are very memorable, but they're sledgehammer. They slap you in the face with a frying pan. That's why they're memorable. But this is memorable. Like I remember the beginning of this movie because it's he takes his time and you're interested immediately in these characters. You want to hear their stories, and that holds you on until you learn what the movie is actually about. Like, what is this movie about? It seems like you're just going to learn, follow the lives of these children, but then there's this, exciting like crime story.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of opportunities.
He should.
In Hollywood.
Deservedly. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what he's going to be doing. I think he's writing I think he's helped writing Flash Gordon, the remake for that.
Mm-hmm.
He's also involved in a Star Wars film, whenever the fuck that's gonna come out.
Take your time writing it.
Yeah, you got nothing but time. You ain't filming shit. Apparently, the release date tentatively is 2025, so hopefully we're breathing by that time. Yeah, I enjoyed this film. I enjoyed all the Taika Waititi films that we've seen. I mean, I would have loved to seen Thor Ragnarok, but I mean, Marvel, LOL.
But what?
Marvel, LOL.
Oh. I mean, we could watch it. I was wondering why we didn't have it on the list, but yeah, we could consider it. I'm into
like a
it.
Normie pick.
Yeah. I was like, I can just watch it again. But I really enjoy that movie. I'll watch it anytime.
8.5 out of 10 for me.
That's a high score, especially for a first film.
Yeah. There's nothing I mean, it wasn't like perfect, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not something. You think it's rewatchable?
Yeah. I said I would watch it for a third time. Like, not on my own, but if I, someone that's like, what should we watch? I'm like, this movie. I promise you'll like it. It wasn't funny enough for you? I don't know. I was really
You know
into
what it is? I think I might need to see it one more time. Because I think there's some things that I may have missed, just like what you said about the weed fields, in that exchange. I don't remember that exchange. Yeah, I think I need to see it a second time.
All right. Yeah, well, if you, find a friend that hasn't watched it, watch it with them. I was curious, hey, Bobby, if you're listening, because Bobby watched it too, like what he thought about it. He seemed to like it. I was like, wonder if, it's rewatchable, what the kind of consensus is.
Yeah, he's a Taika Waititi fan.
Who isn't? My mom, but that's because she doesn't know. But she liked Thor Ragnarok, actually. She was like, have you seen this? This is funny. And I was like, yes, Mom. Yes.
Yeah, that's what makes me excited. Because he could make like films for normies. Like I think Thor Ragnarok is a normie film, but he also has things like, Boy, What We Do in the Shadows, which are kind of like cult classics, right? You would think so?
Mm-hmm.
Like something that a film, like a cinephile would, be super into watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has that mix, which I think is why he's like so popular and so in demand.
Do you feel like Jermaine Clement is more popular? Like working with him, I guess, gains his visibility, boosts his visibility. Taika's, I mean. Like, is Jermaine Clement more well known because he was on that Flight of a Conchord show? Also a cult actor, in my opinion.
Yes.
Immediate cult actor.
Yeah, he's one of those actors and writer, director, Hollywood people.
So rarely does like a project. So when you like see him in it, like his only, I feel like, mass appeal pop culture project was when he did the voice. Was it a Spider-Man movie? He was a bad guy. Oh shit! What movie was that? But he was unnoticeable. Like you.
What year was that?
I don't know. You had to notice when he was like talking or acting because he was so transformed, I think, by CGI and costume.
Was it animated or was it?
No, live action. I thought for sure it was Spider-Man.
Men in Black 3?
That one.
Yeah. Boris the Animal.
Hello. I'm like my mom. You know that actor? His name is Mike Damon. Mom, you mean Matt Damon? Yes. You have to like read her mind, ask so many questions. Yeah. Mom, the Google exists. This is not a fun game. Love you, Mom.
I also think, well, to answer your question, yes. Because Flight of the Conchords was fucking big.
Mm-hmm.
Big. Yeah.
I like that they work with the same people. Like even Kristen Shaw, she wasn't in Boy, but for example, Jermaine Clement had her in Flight of the Conchords. I don't know if Taika was involved with Flight of the Conchords at all. I don't think so. But they recast her like in What We Do in the Shadows. I don't know if she's a continuing character, but she's a member of the Vampire Council in season 1, and she does a good job. But you'll just see like the same actors in his movies. Love it. Big fan.
Talk about Kristen Shaw, right?
Yes. She often does voiceover work, but she's good. She's very funny.
She plays my favorite character in Bob's Burgers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she does a lot of voice stuff.
Indeed. Well, anything to add about this movie? I mean, there was a lot to it. It was a simple story, but complex.
Yeah, but not convoluted though. Convoluted gets me like upset, especially when you have such a short runtime. No, I think it was fantastic. I think anybody should see this film. It gives you good. It shows Taika Waititi's range of what he could do. He could do serious. He could do funny. He could do both at the same time. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
All his films deserve a watch, including Thor. Very funny. Even my mom liked it.
Ready to wrap it up?
Yeah, this was a very fun episode. Ooh, hour and almost 45 minutes. Thank you for listening. Again, please interact with us. Give us a follow on Twitter. Find our links there. And see you next week.
See you next week. Wear a mask. Wash your dirty ass.